So good evening, everybody. And today our topic covers a huge expanse, the expanse of early childhood care and its various domains. That's what we are going to talk about today. It's 5, our chai is ready. And thank you so much for the kind of support, the kind of receptance that this whole process got. And I hope you kind of liked what we are trying to do so that we take a step by step into a whole process. I would also like to suggest to schools and teachers who are watching, this could become a step by step process for you to introduce different aspects to your teachers as well. So I'm touching just 40 minutes, 45 minutes, but you can actually detail everything. Whatever we are touching, in the order we are touching, just detail it a little more and go in that sequence. It will really help you to start your next session really well. I think my base design was set in such a way so that when we start our new session, we should be able to start with reflecting what we want to do and our own attitudes. We have to understand the expanse. In all other subjects, as the children grow, there is specialization. Even when children do post-graduation, there is a specialization for every subject within subject. You have super specialists. And here we have our early years teachers with just so much to do. And there is going to be no specialist all around us. We have to slowly enable ourselves and specialize ourselves. So I think the early year teacher and parent has just such a wide expanse. Right from the time the child is born, I don't think there is a manual that actually tells us how to handle this little wonder of creation. Right from keeping them in the correct position to breathe, to holding them correctly, to holding their head support because the head is still not completely developed. The brain is still very delicate. No falls, so much of care, soft voices, and order around them. There is just so much to do. So today we are going to talk about this wide expanse of the early years. So as usual, Pan is going to start with a little story, and I'm going to go through it a little fast because we have lots to do today. So little Pan comes to school. He has to leave his mom at home, and that's not really cool. He looks for his teacher to hold him and be kind. So he looks for his teacher. Today his teacher is sitting at the back at the poster. To look and to be kind, he looks for a teacher who, without saying under anything, like his mama, understands his mind. He needs to meet so many friends and learn so much new. Everything is new. Everything is new. So social emotional development with lots of children and adults few, because there are going to be lots of children around around each child, and we hope it comes back to the classroom soon. He has to play and become strong. Small and large muscles must develop along. Health and safety is important too. So health and safety is important too. Cognitive development must be there so that he is ready to experiment and learn things new. Language, listening, speaking, reading, and writing have to be developed along. Sometimes it has to be a story, sometimes a rhyme, and sometimes a lovely song. So, song, dance, creative development has to happen too. Crayons, paints, scissors, and glue. Experiments, discovery, and the ability to follow every clue. So many things have to be done when Pan comes to the school, so new. So no one more than the early years teacher has so much, such a wide expanse to do. Whether it's the earlier teacher or the parent, we have to learn and we have to implement it step by step. And everything is so vast, but we cannot go fast. We have to keep the learning levels of the children. So today we are going to learn about, actually learn or just, absorb and understand that there's so many domains which have to be understood by the teachers to develop a good curriculum. So we have to integrate it into design, and only then the children will go smart and fine. So just to begin with, I'm going to just give you a series of activities. You know, it was so interesting today when I was making a list of activities to talk to all of you. I realized all our references are in the classroom. You know, there were no references, no data, collected as yet for digital. So first of all, I would say technology in learning, because that has what kept everybody going. So yes, technology and hands-on. So suppose we take this topic of self-awareness. Me, myself. That's the simplest topic we all take. So in today's situation, what will you do? We would say upload pictures. Say just put everybody on screen and let them all introduce themselves, right? So we could do things like that. Now, personal, social, emotional development. Find a friend, spot a friend in these pictures and give a high five. So come on, give me a high five. I have so many friends there. Aesthetics, creativity. Look at a mirror and draw yourself. Look at a mirror and dress yourself. That could be something really nice. Comb your hair, see that you look really nice. Physical development. I'm going to play some music. Could you dance and do your favorite steps with me? Right? So I'm going to play some music, and can you do your favorite steps with me? Now, small muscle development. Can you quickly draw a picture of yours and then send it to me? Cognitive development. Ask the children to spot pictures of children wearing the clothes of the same color. Or count the number of children in the class. Can you count the number of girls? Can you count the number of boys? Language development. As I click on the screen, and in the normal circumstances, I would just play passing the parcel. You know how difficult it has been for teachers to convert a live environment into classrooms. Activities, circle time, it's been really tough, but people have done it. So suppose I click on the child's name, the child can say, what is my favorite toy? Reading and writing, type the letters of your name and write your name with different designs. So these are all different domains of one kind of an activity. So how important do you think it is to understand domains? I think it's very, very important. In fact, today it was very interesting when I was actually sitting and, looking at your domains. I was realizing that, even for me to have a clarity was a challenge in some activities. So I thought, you remember we did the pockets, and we did the importance of the learning T. And I think this holds good even today. So how many domains and what kind of activities in each domain? Can the same activity be used in different domains? Can you change it a little bit and use it? So for that, a very thorough knowledge of what are the domains, what do they cover, what aspects of the child do they cover is very important for all of us. Today is just a beginning. Please go back and then study each domain. Make a list of activities in each domain and see in how many domains it can be used. Now, how to do that? So what I thought was, I use a lot of color. I use a lot of color codes because I feel it helps me. For example, if I'm writing an activity, if I'm doing an activity in language that says today recognition of letters. So what can I do in the creative domain? What can I do in the musical domain? What can I do in the social emotional domain? So if it is all color coded, finally in the whole year, I will see those colors coming in again and again. For example, if I have a creative activity with every topic, I will see one color. If I have a mathematical, analytical, cognitive activity, I'll see another color. If I have life skills in that activity, I will see another color. So what will happen is that I will start seeing maybe too much of one color or too little of another color, and that will help me to understand if I'm touching all the domains for the children and the curriculum design. So today what I did was I created one set of color codes. These are mine. There is no international reference to color codes. But we can create a set pattern of color codes and we can use them for our schools, our group schools, and so on and so forth. So I'll first introduce the colors to you, right? So again, as usual, I'll get up and I will just see that, you know, that we can see colors and so the different domains and the pockets. So today, my center pocket says different domains, all right? And I'll show you my color codes. So the most important, I feel, is the personal, social, emotional development. It's important because without this, learning doesn't happen. Children have to be happy. They have to connect with the, you know, and also there are two things I see on online sessions that some people just don't connect, you know. It's not like you're talking to the children. It's like you're just talking to a wall. So please remember, there are children on the other side and you have to connect to them. Once we connect to them, even if it is 20 minutes, it's fine because that's how the whole process is going to happen, right? So I put the social emotional development. And you know, when I was actually researching and going through all my work, I realized technology aided learning was last. You know, it used to be the last column, but I thought that I don't think we can keep it as the last column anymore. So technology aided blended learning. Why technology aided blended learning? Because we have to use technology to blend in various kinds of activities which the children will do live in early years. So technology is the base tool and then the children will learn hands-on activities also. So we use that and I thought this was like a really, really important tool for us. So I'm putting it right up here. Okay. Another very, very important domain is if my personal, social, emotional development goes well and I'm happy, I like to express myself. And that's the connection between the social, emotional development and the language development. Okay. So my language development comes somewhere here. Now, the language development has two parts. It has listening, speaking, and reading, writing. You know, if you color code it, it's so easy because it can keep going into the same pockets. And it becomes so easy for you to see it and understand it. Now, a very important part of the domain is the cognitive development. It means the ability to think, analyze, make connections, solve problems. So in this domain, suppose we take the cognitive development, what all do we add to it? Right? So we add the knowledge and skills of the world and the mathematical development. We can add it under cognitive development because these are analytical subjects. These are topics which need analysis, need a thought. So can we put these together? Then comes the physical development. The physical development has three parts. It has the large muscle development, the small muscle development, and most important, it has health and safety. You know, when we talk about physical development, we also say the mind, the body, and the comfort level of the child. And then comes the creative development. Creative development would have dance, it would have music, it would have drawing, it would have rhymes. And look at all of this. It's all ready. Now, we will shift one domain at a time to the other side and we will learn about it. Because that's what we decided last week, that we will shift single domains and we will understand it step by step. So even after all of this, there will be times when you will look at an activity and wonder in which domain can this go? Can the same activity go in multiple domains or not? So I think it's important for us just to understand all of this. And like I said, the technology aided learning, we all thought would be the last. But today it is what is keeping the children and the teachers together. We are hearing good whispers that children should be coming back to school soon, but we also have to be very, very cautious. I also think that perhaps as a personal social emotional development, we have to get the children ready to get to school. And if that doesn't happen very soon, then we have to manage with this tool of trying to keep all the children together. All right. So I feel so we'll start one domain at a time now. So personal social emotional development is very important, because if children don't feel emotionally secure, they will not learn. Simple activities can get the children involved, ready. And like we said, in these times when children are not going out to school, please make a special effort for children to meet children, for children to meet other people in the family. Follow all the cautions, follow all the care that you need to, but do not leave them isolated, because it is going to harm. It's actually been too much time now. Initially, when we started it, we thought it would all get over. So parents can get them ready by showing them pictures of schools, positive things. Like suppose your children, now even I also heard that children are having issues coming online. They don't want to come onto the screen time at all. It's two reactions. So if in case that is happening, I think a little break is good enough, and then just do short screen time for them. So they get emotionally ready. We tell them that today we are just going to do this much, and then we'll back off. And when you say 10 minutes, 10 minutes later, please switch it off, so that the child doesn't feel that you've told the child something and you're not doing it. When you're bringing the child to school, never hold the child to your heart, because taking the child away from your heartbeat is always very difficult. Walk your child to school. Even if it's from the car to the gate, walk the child. The heartbeat separation is very difficult for children. So please do that. Teachers, please use varied techniques even in your online sessions. Don't start them like a routine session. Do some fun things, have a little music, have a little logo. Ask the children, how do you want to say hello today? Do you want to do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3? Or do you want to snap? Or do you want to dance? So have logos and tell the children, we will do what you feel like to do a hello today. So if you have 4 logos and you have 10 children telling you you want to do a dance welcome, we will do a dance welcome. If you have the maximum children doing a song welcome, we'll do a song welcome, a high five welcome, a namaste welcome. Another very interesting thing, is that greetings from all over India. So start with greetings from all over India, and then go to greetings from all over the world. This will take care of a good 30, 40 days for you. In that process, the children will learn the greetings as well. And imagine the child whose area the greeting belongs to, the child also feels emotionally really nice, right? So these are small things that you can do. Another very important activity is the circle time. It is definitely the beginning of a day for early years. 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 12 minutes, whatever you can spare. Circle time is extremely necessary. You need to work with 4 settings. When you do children and emotional development and settings, we do 4 settings. The first setting is pair working, where the child finds a buddy and works with that child for as long as they want to. You will not keep shifting children just like that. Buddies don't get shifted just like that. The second group working is small group working, where a small number of children work together in a group. Then you have team working, where you divide the class into 2 teams, and then you have the large group working. The 5th form of working is the individual working, which only is done for assessments and practice. Otherwise, as much as we can, we keep the child into pair working, small working, small group working, team working, or large group working. Individual working comes only for personal practice and assessments and observation. Why do we do that? Because these are the times when the children are emotionally connecting with each other. They are adjusting, they are waiting for their own turn to come. They are slowing down for children, they're pacing up with other children. So these are small things that you can do to actually aid social emotional development and understand the domain. I think that's what we are trying to do today. We are not trying to make a list of activities. We are just trying to understand that this domain, now what your homework is, for every domain, list out 20 activities. List out activities which the children can do with ease in today's condition and what can be done in the classroom. So what will happen is, as you're addressing a domain, you will realize that, oh, this activity works here. So that is why domain understanding is important, because it's so vast. You're going to teach them the wonder of the sky, you're going to teach them the wind, you're going to teach them the weather, you're going to teach them emotions, letters, numbers, words, stories, rhymes, analytics, scientific temperament, and so much more. So it's good if we get our domain lists ready and a list of activities. Next, we come to the physical development. The physical development, so you've heard of Howard Gardner, you've heard of Jean Piaget, you've heard about Mario Montessori. We have the best of thought processes in India. We have, so when we look at all of them, they all have one basic theory. The theory says that the child must experience and learn. Some will use domains, some will use resources, some will use gifts, some will use something else. But each one will tell you they must have experiences. It's as simple as that. So every time I read a theory and then I read another one, you realize that, the children follow the same development. And finally, they have to have experiences. So large muscle development, is so uncomplicated. You could do a little, a trail in the house where children can go below and above, and a simple running, a skipping, a catching, a walking, sliding, throwing, rolling, jumping, walking on a line, walking on, different kinds of trails, walking on soft, grass, walking on stones. All this is a part of large muscle development. I also see schools complicating it a lot, You don't really need so much of resource for large muscle development. A simple slide, a swing, a running, a catching, a hopping, a hopscotch is all a part of this. A small creeping on the floor, slithering on the floor, crawling on the floor, going under a table, coming out from the other side, all this is a part of large muscle development. So make a list of it, try and follow it. Small muscle development, the smallest of things: sorting, threading, cutting, pasting, kneading, plasticine work, peeling, mashing, painting, crayoning, air writing, sand writing, slate writing, playing with hand puppets, moving your hands, picking up blocks and putting them there. Touch feely bags, where you touch a feely bag and feel a thing and say, oh my God, what is this? And guessing it. Using tweezers, using tongs, all these are simple, straightforward home activities, school activities, which you can do with these. So whether it's parents listening to me, whether it is teachers, make out these lists under each heading and go ahead. Health and safety on priority. So now the most important thing is washing hands, sanitizing them, social distancing. It's strange that even when we were talking about the good touch and the bad touch, social distancing should have always been taught to the children. We, without thinking, will put children on people's laps. We will look at them and say, kiss uncle, kiss auntie. Why? So, right from the beginning, perhaps we should have started the social distancing, which now anyway is solidified. Two things will happen. One, it will keep them medically safe. And then I also think bodily safe. So it's a good thing to do. The Indian culture has certain very good norms. I think we need to go back to some basics. So we had a lot of these things, you would always take off your slippers outside. You would, there was a certain distancing maintained between people. So please do that. Open talks, talking about feeling, talking about anxiety. Talking is very, very important for health and safety. And I say that not only for children, but also for adults, because if we don't talk, so the physical development has three sections to it. And what I have used is I have used orange as the color code. Like I said, you can use different color codes for different subjects. What I have done is I have used brown for the technology. I have used pink for language. I've used a nice lemon yellow for, I'll just go through the colors once I finish the whole thing, right? So orange is for physical development. Pink I have used for language development, linguistic intelligence. When you talked about, I was talking about people, and Howard Gardner said that there are different kinds of intelligences. There are people who actually learn in different ways. So linguistic intelligence, it's the key to intellectual development. It's very interesting that the social emotional development will help a good language development, because if the child is secure and safe, the child expresses that much better. Language development is divided again into two parts: listening, speaking, and reading, writing. Now, listening could be just conversations all around the child, rhymes, stories, alliteration, and vocabulary building. Big vocabulary give them. Speaking could be circle time, it could be a home stage where they stand on a little stage and they present things. You could have peer and buddy chatting, story times, feely bags, rhyming words, and complete the sentence. Complete the sentence is something which children just love to do, right? So the physical development, the perceptual skills, the physical, we talked about large muscle and small muscle development, and even the eye development, going from top to down, left to right, all this, and then holding the pencil, holding a grip, all this gets connected to the reading and writing. So you see how the domains are getting intertwined with each other? That we were talking about the physical development, and here when the reading writing came, we realized the movement from left to right, top to bottom, a visual memory, a visual recognition, auditory memory, all these things will matter. So the physical development will also lead to reading and writing. So understanding these domains, making them thorough. We have to get the children to touch each domain. Our curriculums have to be so vast and wholesome, that these domains are touched again and again. We can't say we touched it once in a week. We have to touch it more number of times to make it more relevant for the children. Now, cognitive development. It's a very, very important domain, because it's going to help the child analyze, solve problems, critical thinking, memory, learning, processes. So we divide it into so many parts, like maybe the sensory motor from birth to 2 years, pre-operational from 2 to 7, another second stage of which is more concrete, 7 to 11, and then more formal, 12 onwards. So these are stages which we all have to learn. They're not very difficult. We just have to read about them. We have to apply them in our sessions, in our design, and it works nicely. So what happens is, when you say that this part of the child's brain develops during this phase of the child, then you will collect those activities of that stage of the child. Now, when the child comes between 3 to 5, that you will collect another set of activities. 5 to 7, another set of activities, and 7 to maybe 12, another set of activities. The understanding of domains helps you to choose the kind of activity you need for each domain and session and development of the child. Right? So that is one very, very important part of it, knowledge and skills. So under the cognitive development, we can talk about the knowledge and life skills, the application, the natural curiosity of the child, science in daily life, giving the child this wonder and time to experiment and observe. Surround the child with resources. It's important to do that so that the child uses them and discovers. Something even as simple as balloons, magnifying glasses, seeds, stones, water containers, pouring an activity with air would just help so effectively. Now, suppose you want to do sight, the sense of sight and the world. Do a blind walk with the children. Tell them to close their eyes and walk. Do a braille with the children and let them understand how important this sense of sight is to the child. Inclusion. These simple activities will also cause inclusion because they will understand that maybe a friend is unable to do this, so we need to help the friend out. The expanse is so much. Hearing, sound boxes, clap patterns, dumb charades where you just do the actions and say, okay, guess it. Suppose you can't hear, how are you going to do it? So little activities like this, for taste, you do little tasting parties, you tell them to bring different things to the classroom. Smelling, the smell. So how to smell and, close your eyes. I wouldn't want children blindfolded. I somehow always feel that blindfolding children is not a very friendly thing to the children. So you can just trust them to close their eyes. I think that's so much better. And also perhaps, all right. And also it's important to allow them to, just trust them to close their eyes and do activities. Don't blindfold children. Textures. So imagine the life skills. Imagine the knowledge around the world. It's such a vast topic, such a vast topic. And we have to understand that it has to be integrated in as many things as we can. Now we come to the mathematical development, the logical intelligence. So we talk about 21st century skills. The cognitive development is so much a part of those skills because you're thinking logically, you're creatively thinking, you're problem solving, and the rest, of course, are collaboration and that come from the other domains, right? So for mathematical development, start from the beginning. Start with sorting, grouping, concrete objects, then come to the numbers, matching, and do it in a systematic way. Again here, the awareness of what age, what domain, and what activity is extremely necessary. So between the age of this, maybe till 4 years old, this is what the child can do. Between the 4 and 5, this is what the child can do. And any good curriculum will say all this to you. So please pay attention to it. You need to look at it and say, oh my God, I need to look at the domains, I need to look at the age, and then I need to decide the activities. I see a lot of download of activities and then anybody is given anything. There are processes. So please follow the age and follow the domain and then the activity. And what I'm going to suggest to you is that whatever classes you're taking or however old your children are, download a developmental continuum, see what the child should be reading or studying at that particular point, and give them activities of their level. It will help a lot, The easier ones are anyway easy to do. The difficult ones, then you keep saying that the child does not match the thing. Now comes to my favorite, the creative development. I think it's to be integrated in any and every part of the curriculum. It can be done. So when you say creative curriculum development, visual spatial skills, even a small thing like arranging a salad on a plate is art. The drawing, the coloring, the painting, the singing, the expression, thinking out of the box, all this is a part of creativity. Even an adult who's a creative thinker can create better resources. So we like they say that you cannot have a separate slot for this. Just let it be a part of the whole. So the creative domain is something which needs to be triggered all the time. We have to give it, we have to nurture it, we have to give it the khad, pani, hawa, water, air, sunshine, and just because that is one part which will help you to enhance all the other domains. I think that's one very important. So when you're doing, whenever you're working with children and art, 2-3 things that we should avoid doing is, one, don't compare two children. Let them be with their own space. Let them be with their own pace. Encourage them completely no grading. I don't think the early years should have grading. Aesthetic, experiences. Expose them to beautiful things. I remember in the Montessori, when I was doing the Montessori, they always said that when you pour, get a very beautiful little jug for the children, get pretty cups for the children. So, it was aesthetics. It was that don't assume that they won't take care of them. Surround the children with pretty things. Keep a house in order. I think that helps a lot. And remember that talent comes in many forms. It could be many, many forms. Uh, Independence, you have to allow children to do it. Don't do it for children. Time and space is essential. You have to give children time and space. And so for creativity, when you say C, creativity must be nurtured. R, respect to individual differences. E, encouragement. A, aesthetics. T, talent. I, independence. T, time. And why is so important. It is you as the adult who will give them the circumstances, the environment to do all of this. So I think these are the little things that we needed to talk about today. So we covered all the domains. We covered what is there in the domain, and just look at the expanse of the early year curriculum, early year teacher. So she has to learn about the technology, she has to learn about the language, the cognitive development, mathematical skills, the world around her, them, the creativity. It's just such a wide expanse. That is why I said that unless we look at this huge expanse, how is it going to work? Like I told you, I'm going to show you the color codes I have used. It doesn't mean that you have to use them. You can make your own color codes, but each time you design an activity, for example, if I want to design an activity that says, look into the mirror and sing a song. So I could put a little color on it saying this is also social emotional development. It is also language development. Maybe if I thought of doing a pattern or a beat in the middle, it could be the patterns and mathematical development. So it's not necessary that every activity will touch all the domains, but it is good to have some color codes in your mind for the domain. So I'm just going to take out the color codes and show you what I use, right? So I use the yellow for the personal, social, emotional development. I'm just going to take this out and I'm going to sit down with you all, and then I'm going to touch all of this. And like I said, this is not necessary. This is not the only way to do it. This is one way to do it, right? So understanding domains. You know why I used to do this? Because like I said, I'm a preschool teacher. I'm not a specialist in domains. So for me, it was very necessary to color code everything so that I would know how many times I'm covering a domain in my curriculum. It just became that much easier for me. And as I've been training, as I've been facilitating teachers, these color codes have worked wonders in the classroom, right? So that is why I thought I'd share it with you just as a process, right? So I'm using the yellow for the personal, social, emotional development. I'm using a kind of a sea green for the creative development, an orange for physical development. I've used blue and green for cognitive development because it is going to combine the mathematics and the world around them, the two together. So for the world around and skills, I've used a green. For the mathematics and the numeracy, I have used blue. For language development, I have used pink. And for the technology aided learning, I have used a light brown. Each time I plan my curriculums, I just see that these codes work really well within that curriculum. Now, very quickly, I'm going to ask you, I hope that the people who attended the last time session were able to fill this, which says, I take time to self-reflect often, sometimes, and never. So I would say I do it often. How important is it for early years educators to reflect, unlearn, and relearn? I always empty my cup a bit so that I can learn from everybody. Think back and record for yourself. Compared to this time last year, this year, oh my God, this year there is so much more that I know. I know what works. I know technology works. I know that there will be failures. I know that, I can't give up hope. I know that I can't take anything for granted. I have learned that my students, so I see it as teachers who I facilitate, can learn from anywhere if they want to. I have changed my teaching style. Yes, I have. And can now use technology to blend it with hands on activities very effectively. My most challenging part of last year, uh, I think, was just accepting that this is going to be so long. I think that's what was my challenging part of last year. I feel happy, sad, angry, and surprised. I'm actually surprised at the resilience, the kind of hope that we still are not giving up. So that's what my signature is for me. I hope you filled up your form. And this week we give you a very interesting thing to take back with you. It's another sheet which you can download. Sejal has put it up for you. It's got the domains. It's got all the domains, and you can just make little lists of activities over here just to help you to understand what the domains are. And you can perhaps make your own color codes. So we've just given you a single one because we didn't want this to become like a compulsion that all of you have to follow the color codes. So we've given it you single, but you can decide to make the square. So you can outline the square with the color that you want to choose and then share it with your group so that all of you can have the same color codes. Right, so this is our activity for this week. Please download it, use it. Even as parents, I would suggest it's a nice reference point that will help us to build the domains. So, like I said, a vast expanse of the early years. So many domains which we have put up. Children who are just born to 8 years old, we have to give them the best that we can and repeat domains as much as we can, right? So thank you so much. And next week, we'll be coming to you with another topic. I was thinking that I also wanted inputs that, are you okay with me taking the sessions, or would you like us to invite guests? I would also like to, take your input on that. We will be getting in a few guests, but I thought that as we are planning to do a step-by-step into early years design and curriculum, I must learn the steps with you. So thank you so much. And I hope that it's been a good evening, and bye-bye and thank you.
Square, square, panda.